Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We begin tonight with breaking news as police are responding to reports of a stabbing at 2510 North Broadway. That's in North Fargo. We're being told there's a large police presence at this location, but details are very slim at this time. We do have a crew headed to the scene, actually, and we'll have more on this story as we continue to gather information. More breaking news tonight. The man found deceased in his truck yesterday morning in rural Argosville has been identified. Officials say the man is 54-year-old Jeffrey Hoff from Purley, Minnesota. Hoff's body has been sent to the state medical examiner's office for an autopsy. At this time, authorities do not suspect foul play in this case. It's taking a while for the snow to move out of here. It's been hanging around all day, creating some slippery roads all around the region. Here's Hutch with a look at your no-wait weather. Hutch?
Well, we're going to exit the snowflake activity as we go through the overnight hours, and then the Arctic air will re-enter the scene as we head into our weekend on a very chilly note. Roads do remain quite slippery out there as we still have, even in the Fargo-Moorhead area, some light snow. Here's the radar showing that band of snow moving basically slowly off to the south and east. So places like Red Lake Falls, Thief River Falls, Fargo-Moorhead, Mayville, up towards Grand Forks, seeing some light snow continuing to pass through this evening over the I-29 corridor. So be prepared for slippery travel conditions to continue as temperatures are near 20 for some in the south, mid-teens here up and down the Red River Valley. The coldest of the year will be arriving from the northwest, and it begins to arrive overnight tonight. So this evening, enjoy quieting weather with clearing skies and temperatures by 10 o'clock slipping down to around 10 degrees as we head into the evening. I'll tell you how cold we're going to get as we go through the weekend. For some of us, it will be the coldest air of the season. I'll have details on all of that in your hour-by-hour forecast here in just a moment.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so that you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day. All you have to do is search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. The snow and bad roads have kept troopers busy responding to accidents and spinouts all around the region. Earlier today, the North Dakota Highway Patrol said they responded to 16 crashes and 20 slide-offs in Cass County alone. Authorities say they even had a near-miss accident involving a state trooper. Police say officers were helping with traffic control for a tow truck along I-94 in Fargo when 32-year-old Jennifer Hershert nearly hit the trooper. Officials say Hershert was arrested for driving under the influence. Her blood alcohol concentration tested at 0.17, which is above the legal limit. Troopers are reminding you to slow down in the slick conditions, move over for emergency vehicles, including plows, and always drive sober. It's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 37-year-old Terrence Burton is wanted for failure to appear and failure to register as a sex offender. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. A 22-year-old man is now in jail after police say he stabbed a man at the Moorhead Public Library. Tristan Wallet was arrested late yesterday afternoon in Fargo. Police say two men were fighting over a bike when the victim was stabbed in the hand. Personal safety and protection are at the top of almost everyone's priority list, and many have since turned to doorbell cameras to keep an eye on what's going on outside and inside their homes. But what happens when this same technology we trust to keep us safe is used against us? Valley News Team's Alexandra Kay talked with experts today on how to keep you safe.
Derek Holt uses video security in his home. He watches this video in shock as a hacker speaks to an 8-year-old girl through the Ring camera in Tennessee.
Terrifying. I mean, it's scary. I mean, I have a 2-year-old at home, and someone was talking to my son, and maybe not now, but a year from now, like, could potentially talk him down to opening the door because they think it's me or he thinks it's me to let him in. I mean, it's pretty scary.
He says that he uses a 2-step verification system to keep his devices safe, but understands that those who don't could be targeted.
There's a risk out there, and if you don't know what you're doing, something like that could potentially happen.
Most houses in this neighborhood have the smart doorbells and say overall they enjoy the system. But if your system gets hacked, what can you do to protect yourself? I spoke with Brian Cromit, CEO of 702 Communications. He explained that the first thing you should do is unplug.
Once it's unplugged, They can't get to you. They can't see you. They can't hear you.
The next step is go into the app and change your username and password. Crommett explained the password should include characters and numbers.
This can't be fixed with hardware. It's got to be just a conscious effort to use a different username and password to keep hackers out. Then you can feel reasonably secure that this isn't going to happen in your house.
In Fargo, Alexandra Kay, Valley News Live.
Experts say if you've been hacked or see any suspicious activity, to review any stored data you may have from the system to see what the hackers may have seen or heard. A drunk driver will spend the next 10 years in prison after leading police on a fatal chase in Becker County. According to prosecutors, Jason Rothmeyer had a blood alcohol content of nearly 3 times the legal limit when he led police on a chase in August 2018 with speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour. Rothmeyer eventually crashed into another car, killing an 18-year-old and injuring 2 others. Rothmeyer then ran from the scene before being arrested. President Trump could be just days away from making history. 2 articles of impeachment were voted on out of the Judiciary Committee today and are headed to a vote on the House floor. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
At a White House visit with the leader of Paraguay, President Trump warned Democrats are setting a dangerous precedent.
Someday there'll be a Democrat president and there'll be a Republican House, and I suspect they're going to remember it.
The president's team appears to be gearing up for a trial in the Senate. Mr. Trump's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, was at the White House this morning, shortly after the House Judiciary Committee voted down party lines to send 2 impeachment charges to the House floor. The first for abuse of power, the second, obstruction of Congress.
If we let the president get away with this misconduct, it means that every president for all time will be able to bring foreign powers into our elections.
The full House vote to impeach the president could take place as early as next Wednesday. Democratic House leaders expect a few defections from moderate members in vulnerable swing districts, but they expect they have the votes they need to pass. If that happens, it'll go to the Senate for a trial early next year. On Fox News last night, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said there's 0 chance the president will be removed from office.
And everything I do during this, I'm coordinating with White House counsel. There will be no difference between the president's position and our position as to how to handle this.
Democrats, including Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, pushed back on Republicans' plans, urging Americans to call their senators and demand a fair trial.
Not a fixed trial where the foreman of the jury, Mitch McConnell, the guy that decides all the rules, is actually going to coordinate with the defendant.
President Trump has said he wants to call witnesses in the trial, but Republicans are split on whether that's a good idea. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said today Democrats in the Senate coordinated with President Clinton during his impeachment trial. Congressman Kelly Armstrong joined all Republicans in voting against the articles of impeachment against President Trump today. Armstrong gave his reaction following the vote.
This is how the process works, and the Senate's going to do what the Senate determines to be the right way to approach it. I do know this, Democrats just lost control of the narrative, because while they may control the House and we don't have any minority rights over here, the Republicans control the Senate, and so now this is going to hopefully move more towards a truth-finding mission and instead of a partisan witch hunt.
Armstrong is serving his first term representing the state of North Dakota in the U.S. House of Representatives. President Trump has signed off on an initial trade agreement with China. That's according to U.S. officials and others familiar with the agreement. They say the agreement would avoid new U.S. tariffs and reduce the rates of existing duties in exchange for a Chinese promise to purchase American farm goods. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum is requesting a presidential disaster declaration. It would help secure federal assistance to cover the estimated $9.7 million in damage to public infrastructure from the October snowstorm. Burgum is asking that the declaration cover 15 counties across the state. For a full list, go to our website and find this story. And don't forget, tomorrow, the Bison football team will be at home this weekend, competing against the Illinois State Redbirds. The game starts at 11, live from the Fargo Dome, and you can watch it on ESPN. Also, don't forget to tune in for the Farmers Union Insurance Bison football pregame show at 10 a.m. on KVLY. And then at 10:30 Sunday morning, you can catch the Coaches Show with Matt Entz on KX4.